Hello everyone, and welcome to the first match in round 1 of the Anime Villainous Tournament arc of 2023. I, as always, am Chaos in the Sky, and today we'll get to see King of Hope versus Wako, seen at the top of the bracket here, which promises to be a strong first battle for our tournament arc. As mentioned in the primer video, they'll be having a best of 3 game, so the first to get 2 wins moves on to the next round. Without any further delay, let's get into the first of our mini competitive games for tournament arc. Alright, here we go, the first round of the Annaville tournament, and King of Hope wins the dice roll. So it begins. King of Hope will be our starting player. As we can see over here, that means that he's going to get to ban a villain, and then Wako, as our second player, will get to ban a villain. So let's see who they've got here. Who is King of Hope going to ban out of the gate? Wako has, I don't think Wako has really established himself just yet as being a master of any specific character, so King of Hope is a little spoiled for choice here, probably more than he wants to be on not knowing who exactly Wako is proficient with or who to go against, or maybe they played together more than I've realized and they might know, there's no way. But King of Hope has chosen his ban, this face down card, we'll be seeing it shortly. Wako is going to choose his ban now. Oh, there it is, King of Hope is banned light. I believe Wako has gone on record once or twice saying that he likes light and has played him a good deal. So we've got light banned. That means no one will be playing as light, unless I've forgotten how this works. Yeah, you cannot. I was trying to remember. It's like, is it just Wako can't use it, but it's banned for both of them. So now we're gonna see Wako pick his character and who he's gonna be banning that neither of them will be able to pick. And it is Cell. All right, so we will not be seeing Cell or Light from the usual lineup here. Instead, it will be the other 8 competitors you see here. Oh, Cell and Light are on top of each other even. Look at that. They just can't be a part of this game. So they are both banned for this round of the game. They will ban again for the second round. Now they're going to pull out their selectors and do a fancy little maneuver that I've never... What kind of RNG manipulation was that? I have no idea what they were trying to do there, chat, but here we are. What could go wrong? So now they're going to be using their draft, what are they, decks? Yeah, decks. That makes sense. There are cards in them. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word deck. They're going to be using the draft deck to pick their characters to ensure that there's no tomfoolery on counter picking. It is a blind pick by both of them. They will both be choosing a character. I believe mirror matches are allowed, so they could even pick the same character. And we have... Ooh, father and father! Oh, yeah, sure enough, there it is! So, the very first match of the first round of the Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2023 will be a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood mirror match. King of Hope and Wako both playing his father. I wonder if perhaps one of them would have chosen differently had Cell or Light not been banned. There's truly no way to know unless they tell us later on. But this is going to be very interesting. I'm astounded that we've got a mirror match right out the gate out of 8 possible characters. But honestly, I love it. You never know what could be going on with this kind of thing. Also, of course, we have our chess timer. They will be playing with a chess timer, as mentioned in the primer video. So they each have 30 minutes allotted to them. I believe that the timer is frozen when your opponent is resolving a scheme during your turn, I think is the ruling. So it could even go a little longer than 30 minutes. We could be in for a long game here, potentially. I don't think we're going to be seeing games taking up all of the time available, but we'll see some good stuff happening. Okay, and now I believe we are officially underway. That is the benefit. Oh, the timer changes colors when you go. That's very nice. I didn't realize it did that. But that's the benefit of YouTube premieres instead of live streams. You know, we can have nice little cutaways when I need them. We're going to see King of Hope going straight into a turn 1 Fate Gate of Truth on Wako. That hurts. That hurts. Gate of Truth right out the gate. I wonder if Wako will be going to Xerxes, his gain 3, to just immediately try to rid himself of Gate of Truth before things can go much worse. Oh, the Promised Day. Promised Day into Lust right out the gate. Gonna be dropping her at Central City. This is... Gotta admit, this is a pretty strong first turn for King of Hope. Gonna be shuffling back in that Promised Day. He's got a lot of other allies that he wants to hopefully get to play off of it. He only discarded Human Energy. He must have a pretty nice hand going over there as well. And then they're gonna switch over to Wako's turn. Wako is in he's in a position. Mei Chang is already gone, which can be nice. She can be pretty annoying to shuffle in garbage when Father's about halfway through his stuff. Wako's having to think hard about a decision here, and I believe he is just going to be immediately removing Gate of Truth, potentially? Or is he choosing to live with it and he just wants to double play? Discarding... No, he's playing Human Energy. Ah, true alchemy. That is unfortunate. He cannot use Father's ability to shuffle any of that back in due to Gate of Truth. And it looks like he's paying all 4 to get rid of it. Promise Day, you really hate to see that go. Divinity is a good loss. You don't want that. Wrath hurts. Oh, Wrath hurts. That was pretty 50-50. Losing Divinity and Mannequin Soldiers is actually more of a benefit than a hurt to Wako, because those cards are pointless early game for Father. Losing Wrath is very painful, though. He is going to go straight into Shapeshifter. Probably going to be looking to draw 5 cards at the end of his turn. I say as if he has any allies to move, which is the other effect Shapeshifter can do. But probably looking to speed up his draws. He's also discarding Flask, doesn't want Flask, but looking to potentially get through his deck faster, probably, although I believe he only drew 4 cards. I think he might have forgotten to draw his 5th, which is unfortunate, but them's the breaks. You gotta remember all the stuff on your cards. King of Hope, brutal. This man's going straight for another Fate immediately. He's just going straight. Oh, I think King of Hope, being a good sport, reminded Wako about Shapeshifter's draw and let him draw that extra card. That's a swell guy right there. Okay, Scar and Riza, are we going to be seeing... we are going to be seeing, right, because Shapeshifter is when a hero is played, period. So we are going to be seeing Shapeshifter go to the graveyard there. That one good draw for Wako, it pulled through. And then we're going to see Sloth at Lior, a very good Father play, in my personal opinion, as someone who also likes to play Father. Sloth cannot be moved. He's great at guarding Lior. Great at guarding him. We're going to see Mannequin Soldier discarded and True Alchemy shuffled back in by King of Hope. Okay. King of Hope, he's going slow but steady so far, slowing down Wako, making good progress on setting up his allies for his wars. And Wako is finally going to get on the Fate game and fade him back now, which is definitely needed because he is a bit behind. And we're going to see a Promise Day here. And he's also going to get Lust with Promise Day. This is the most mirror of mirror matches. Now, if Wako could just top deck Gate of Truth and Mei Chang like it was done to him, then truly we can just assume that the entire match is scripted. At that point, I'm going to question them. Like, did you guys cheat? Ooh, Mustang. Mustang is good to see here. Oh, yeah. Auto Mail, not that great early, but really good use. He's just going to get rid of Sloth there, which is very, very good for Wako. A good return for all of the Fate nonsense the King of Hope has been throwing his way. Just a good little bit of vengeance, which Mustang, very well known for, if you've watched FMA Brotherhood. Mustang is quite into vengeance. I believe this image might actually be from a scene of him getting his vengeance, now that I think about it, because I don't think that's from the Lust scene. Wako did miss out on doing the classic anime move where Mustang kills Lust, which is what happens in the anime. Spoilers! So that we are going to have to dock him some cool points for that. But we've got King of Hope going over to Xerxes, building up some power. He's also switching into Shapeshifter now. Very interesting. Some early Shapeshifters and throwing down the Philosopher's Stone on Mustang's location. Okay. Okay, is he going to be drawing to 5 or moving Lust? Potentially neither. Oh, there he goes. It's hard to remember that 5th draw. Shapeshifter, normally used for moving allies in my experience. Hard to remember that it does the other thing, too. A military strategy and an equivalent exchange, gaining 3 in a double scheme play from Wako. And then he's shuffling back in a Startle War. Okay, very nice, very nice. Both of Father's schemes, I would say, are quite likely to go off on Father. Very likely to see those occur, so pretty good stuff. Now, are we going to see King of Hope take advantage of his Shapeshifter to just shoot Mustang? No, he's going back to Briggs. He wants to get a little bit of power, maybe make a play a card, but I think mainly he's still looking at fading. Oh, a little bit of indecision. A little bit of indecision there, but he's like, nah, I gotta fate Wako. He's gotta get fated. Ooh, father and son hand in hand. That's a little unfortunate, but I do think Edward is probably the better play here. And of course, he is taking, I believe we saw, no, we didn't, never mind. We saw an automail on the other fate deck, my bad. But taking the automail out of the Fate deck, so not drawing that, making it easier to draw more heroes. Even if an automail had been in the discard, in my experience, other people might play differently. King of Hope might be one of those people. In my experience, normally you want to get the automails out of here so you can get closer to heroes. But sometimes, if you've got a nice hero setup like this, it can be nice to try and get a double automail out there. It can work out pretty well. We are seeing equivalent exchange proc, I believe. Are we? I didn't see what procced the equivalent exchange because I was too busy talking about theoretical plays in classic me fashion. Oh, I believe that, I think King of Hope discarded the Shapeshifter when I was slightly turned away, and he's taking back a Shapeshifter. Wako is. Okay, okay. There's a lot of shapeshifting going on, a lot of fading, a lot of being father from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We're all kind of doing that. All doing that a lot. Discarding True Alchemy. Okay, interesting. I personally like to keep my True Alchemies. I find the move ally and item actions from them very useful, and even the occasional Vanquish and whatnot. We're going to see Shapeshifter not allow King of Hope to draw another card, but actually move Lust into position with the Philosopher's Stone there, giving +1 strength. Lust is strong enough to turn the tables on Mustang and potentially vanquish him. Wako he's going to have a rough time here. He's got Edward and Scar out, a rough combo. We're going to see him discard a Mannequin Soldiers because those things are just truly terrible. And discarding the Shapeshifter that he just added to his hand. I believe he took the Shapeshifter out of his deck, so I guess he's just decided he doesn't want Shapeshifter, and he's trying to get through it faster. We're going to see Pride and Starter War going back into Wako's deck, and then a 2-cost Father's Throne. Probably, I believe Wako had Father discarded by Gate of Truth earlier, so probably we're going to see... Oh, Promise Day, actually. Okay. Okay. Wako is really looking for... I think a mistake was made there. We'll see if the... Yeah, there we go. Father's Throne doesn't put in the hand. It shuffles into the deck. Umbra Circle and Automail. This is a bit of an unfortunate pull for Wako on the Fate, a pretty weak Fate. Mustang is set up to die, so Automail doesn't do much. So taking away Father's 2 power, Father loves power. He desperately needs it. But it is quite unfortunate that Wako was unable to get rid of that Shapeshifter there. But we're going to see King of Hope going over here and gaining 3. Military strat. Okay, they're pausing the clock because military strategy is being resolved by Wako. He gets to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards, I believe. Yes. I can remember what military strategy does. I remember what a lot of these cards do because I looked at a lot of them before tournament arcs started, so I would hopefully remember them all. Human Energy getting discarded, Starter War being put back in, very classic, makes a lot of sense. Was that 3 power being paid by King of Hope? Okay, he's throwing down Pride. We've got Pride out here now, paying for him instead of trying his best to get a hold of whatever it is I'm thinking of. I'll say it in a second. In place of Promise Day. I can remember card names, I swear to you. I can. I really worry for myself when I get to like the 7th one of these that I'm recording and my brain just becomes Annabelle mush. But you'll all get to watch it semi-live on YouTube, so wouldn't that be fun to just see me like fall apart? Wako, we've got him thinking hard here. Both players moving at a pretty a bit of a slow pace, I might say, but they've still got plenty of time on their clocks. They're taking full advantage of their chess clocks, doing their best. Wako moving over. Oh, the Envy play. 3 cost for Envy, but because Envy is on his own, he's 4 strength. He can get Edward on up out of there and just shuffle Envy right back in. That is what Envy is mostly the best for, is to let you get that no ally location vanquish on these 4 strength heroes, as Father is known for 4 strength heroes. There are quite a few of them. And King of Hope, not Wako, King of Hope did not like that. He did not like that at all, so he was like, well, you know what? Let's just immediately get another hero in there to replace Ed. Probably was looking for his brother Alphonse, but ended up getting a Major Armstrong and Winry instead. Having a bit of a rough time deciding here if he wants to go with Armstrong or Winry. Armstrong is the only hero, I believe, in Father's deck that can get past 4 strength, so he's very deadly, but Winry does help cycle the deck. But in the end, he's decided to go with Armstrong. He really wants to keep Lior covered. He's been putting a lot of fate pressure on Wako, and he does not want Wako to be able to do it in return. Gluttony is out. The Gluttony Pride combo has been made. Mustang is already in play, so they're not going anywhere anytime soon. I believe Mustang is the only card in the Fate deck that can get rid of either of... Actually, can't even get rid of Gluttony, but can get rid of Pride. We're going to see Wrath going back into the Villain deck as expected. And Pride going back in. Are we about to see a Promise Day? Yeah, we're about to see a Promise Day, hoping to grab either of those two high-strength allies that he just threw back in. And he got Greed. Greed doesn't save any power because he also costs 1 from Promise Day. However, he's very strong. So he can be a big help in getting rid of Armstrong and Scar, which Wako really needs to deal with relatively soon. And we're also going to see Shapeshifter and Starter War both being shuffled back into Father's deck. Wako doesn't want him now, but he doesn't want him gone. Winry and Umbra Circle again. It's been a bit of a rough one for Wako in terms of fates. He's going to be doing, even though he's putting him right into the Pride Gluttony combo, he is going to be putting Winry at Lior, once again just trying to stop those top fates as much as he can. And now that Winry has been played, Wako gets to look at the top 3 cards of Father's Fate deck. He can discard any of them, return the rest of the top in any order, which, if Wako remembers, he's just going to get rid of Mei Chang. Interesting. He'd rather get closer to a reshuffle than try and make use of Mei Chang. Entirely fair. I can see where he's coming from. King of Hope doesn't have much in his discard right now anyway. That is also going to get rid of the Shapeshifter that King of Hope has been holding for a while. And we're going to go back to his turn. If Wako can remember the rules of Annaville and multi-fating, if he has 2 good cards set up here, he can do 1 fate for one of them and then another fate for the other, which could be a very strong play. We're going to see a True Alchemy, I assume, for a Vanquish. The Pride Gluttony combo gets to kill Mustang for free. It is, he's going to use, or actually a Winry instead of Mustang. Probably doesn't want Mustang to, potentially get reshuffled just yet, although I think we're still a ways away. Yeah, we're at 8 cards in the Fate deck, still a ways away from reshuffle, but thanks to Pride, when used in a Vanquish action, he gets to defeat a hero, and then you can discard another ally with a strength of 1 or more instead of Pride, which Gluttony, whenever he's discarded, even by Pride's effect, he gets to be played for free. So essentially, they make an all-powerful combo, and we're also going to see the first Starter War. So Father is going to start, what Father I say, as if they're not both Father. Father is going to, King of Hope's father specifically, is going to get the first of the 4 tokens needed to complete his objective, and it looks like that was a free play, 2-5-5, yep, 2-3-5, I mean. So he got to play that for 0. I believe both of his Umbra circles have already passed in the Fate discard, if I'm not getting his confused with Wako's. It's hard to keep up with what cards have come and gone when they're playing the same characters, so please cut me some slack on the mirror matchness of this if I get a Fate deck mixed up here and there. Thankfully, me saying something wrong doesn't change how the game turns out, so I don't have to worry too hard. But a free Starter War there is very good for King of Hope. He's doing very well. I keep almost accidentally saying Wako every single time. I need to fix that. We're going to see him gaining 3 and King of Hope getting to resolve his military strategy, which is going to pause the clock briefly. Promise Day straight into the discard with a Mannequin Soldier. Very interesting. He does already have Lust, Pride, and Gluttony out, and Mustang is on the field, so he won't have any of them discarded anytime soon. So I can see the value. A lot of the only allies he has left that he would want to hit with Promise Day, I suppose, are Wrath and Envy. All of the other allies cost 1, although he could also potentially hit Flask, but I think he was the one who discarded Flask earlier. Promise Day into Philosopher's Stone for Wako is very good. Discarding Equivalent Exchange. Don't want to see that one coming back anytime soon. We've got both of the players down to the last 10 cards of their Father deck. Father is at his strongest, but also potentially his most vulnerable when he gets his Fate deck down low how he wants it. And we're actually seeing a double Promise Day from Wako and picking up Philosopher's Stone plus Pride. That is an incredibly good draw for him. Very good. And it looks like he's going to be spreading out and not putting Pride where all of those heroes are sitting at the moment. Changing his mind. It looks like I think Wako is going for the, he's going for stacking his left. This is what I believe to be, at least it's how I normally play him. I believe a fairly classic Father play. Stack a bunch of allies at the left. Take advantage. Let me move over here so we can see King of Hope while I'm talking. We're going to see the Vanquish with the Pride Gluttony combo once again to kill Mustang for free. Classic move. But the classic setup, all of your allies on the left, Starter War, move them all over one Starter War, and continue that train going. So, very strong. And we're going to see King of Hope actually doing it a little backwards since he already got his Lior token. He's actually moving Pride to the left. And, ooh, Ooh, did he have enough power? He had enough power there with, I did not realize that his power had gotten that high. He must have been at a very high amount. He must have been at 7, I believe. So to be able to move Pride and play Starter War just off of that, that is very strong. Very strong for King of Hope. He's in a very dominant position. Wako is still having a bit of trouble, likely due to that early Fate Storm that King of Hope hit him with, where he got very hit with, whatchamacallit? Armstrong. Pride actually is at 5 strength, so he only has to discard Greed to kill Armstrong here. So that's good. I was worried for a second there he would have to use Pride and Greed because Armstrong was at 5. Oh, the double True Alchemy Vanquish just immediately clearing his board. Honestly, a very strong play, I would say. He's lost allies, but they're back in his deck. His deck is small. He's got Promise Days coming up, and he's cleared his board. His top fate is open, and unfortunately, so is King of Hope, so he's doing the same thing. Oh, and Alphonse here is catastrophic. And Alphonse here hurts a lot. He just shuffled in so many allies. He has exactly 9 cards in his deck. Alphonse is guaranteed to hit. Oh, but wait! Are we going to see an Umbra Circle instead, though? 4 power is a lot. That is a lot of power for Father, and I think Waco's other Umbra Circle might have gone already. But he is going to play Alphonse in the end. I believe I would have made the same play. You know that you're going to get a really good hit here. There are, Wako better hope that Pride or Wrath are that 9th card down there, and they don't get hit by this, because I believe Pride and Wrath are both in his villain deck at the moment. Sloth, Gluttony, Pride. Wrath, I think, is that bottom card, which is very, very good for Wako, because I'm fairly certain he shuffled Wrath back in earlier. So losing Pride, Sloth, and Greed hurts a lot. However, Wako does have Father's Throne out, which is at his bottom fate, a good location to go to. And he has a very small deck right now. A very small deck, and I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think I only saw 1 Promise Day there, but I think both Promise Days are in Waco's hand or deck, so he might have a Promise Day ready to go there. But it looks like that fate is about all that King of Hope is going to be doing there. So now Wako, what is Wako going to do? Is he going to try and really overload himself on power right here to get ready for some Starter Wars? Because I believe his Umbra Circles are gone. There are 2 in the Fate deck. I think they both passed him by now, unless I'm mistaken. But nope, he's going to go right over to Fort Briggs and get right to work on using his throne to put all of his allies that he just lost back in. We should have Pride and Wrath there, which means, yep, Promise Day. Gluttony, that hurts. That really hurts to pull Gluttony of all characters there. But Wako has a very good opportunity, especially because he's shuffling back cards into his deck. Very good opportunity to draw the card that I'm thinking of again, to draw Promise Day and go for it again, because he should not have many allies in there. Scar and Ling Yao side by side here. King of Hope is out of power right now, but he has a very good amount of heroes out. Envy is perfectly protecting Xerxes at the moment. Pride is in position to immediately kill Scar if he's placed on Lior or Central City, really. So I'm interested to see what Wako is going to do here. This is a hard choice. Nowhere really good to get it. He can basically force him to lose Envy. Okay, I respect this play, because he's blocking the top move action, and but he decided against it. Well, I don't have to continue with my hypothetical now, chat. I'm not sure that would have been the best move. I think you're in a position with a lot of bad moves there for Wako. King of Hope has a very strong setup, but I don't think he was rife for right choices there. It was really difficult, but I could have seen a world where he went for the Central City play. He is going to get to King of Hope is immediately going to get to kill Scar using Envy. He is going to lose Envy in the process, but just shuffle him right back into his deck there. I believe we have not seen Alphonse or Edward out of... Oh, Promise Day is happening. I was like, why is he pulling everything out of his deck? He's Promise Daying. Oh my word, are there any allies left in this deck? Hey, Envy's back! So, unfortunately, Scar didn't stay long. King of Hope's board state is still strong, still in the same position, and he's thinning out his deck very well. King of Hope has put himself in a position for an Alphonse shuffle, though. Alphonse could force a reshuffle here, which is one of Father's most hated things in my experience. But at the same time, King of Hope has a very strong board state. He's halfway to his objective. He's got Envy protecting Fort Briggs and Xerxes effectively with an easy move action. Pride and Gluttony, the ultimate combo protecting Central City and Lior, especially Lior, that top fate. It's rough going for Wako right now, who is going over to, what is this area called? Central City. And, are we going to be seeing Lust used to kill Alphonse here to open back up that top fate? We are. Once again, thanks to the Philosopher's Stone, Lust is 3 strength, just enough to take down Alphonse. I think we've seen most of the strong heroes pass through Wako's Fate deck, and we're also going to be seeing Envy played here to Gluttony's location. Not Gluttony's location, Central City. I think that makes a bit more sense. He wants to protect that Vanquish move. He wants to hopefully get ready to start putting down some tokens. It's looking pretty strong for King of Hope right now, but I would say I wouldn't count Wako out. His board state isn't quite as strong as Wako's is, especially with the amount of progress towards the objective with the tokens. However, Alphonse is well poised to, in the Fate deck here on King of Hope's to force him into a reshuffle, which can really mess with his use of Starter Wars, as well as trying to keep his deck how he likes it, while Wako over here does not have to worry about Alphonse anytime soon, barring a bad reshuffle, which it looks like King of Hope is going to be working towards. There was another Umbra Circle. I was mistaken earlier. I've seen Umbra Circle too many times. And not going to make any use of Ling Yao, just going to immediately take away that 4 power. 4 power that is a big hit. As father, you never want to lose power, but you really don't want to see a power loss of more than 2, really. An Umbra Circle taking away 2 power isn't too bad in my experience, and please keep in mind that I'm not the greatest player of all time. I'm just the funny man who says the words. So someone smarter than me, like Butter, might be watching this right now and being like, Chaos has no earthly idea what he's talking about. But losing 2 power, pretty recoverable. Losing 4 power, also recoverable, just very painful. Do we see Wako here? He's just ditching a Starter War and going straight into Shapeshifter. Ooh, baby. There's Hohenheim and Gate of Truth at the same time. That is unfortunate. It looks like we are going to see Hohenheim coming out. Unfortunately, there's nowhere really safe for Hohenheim to go. But it will if King of Hope wants to get rid of Hohenheim, he's going to have to just immediately go back to his Vanquish. He'll get to gain 2 power, which is nice, but lose Envy in the process. But it looks like he's actually going to be going to Xerxes. What are we going to be seeing here? What's the plan here? A Promised Day. He was checking his discard earlier, I believe. He knew that he had Wrath coming up. So where is he going to set Wrath down here? Straight to Hohenheim to take out Hohenheim, or is he just really wanting to set up Xerxes for the Starter War? I think that he's going to be setting up Xerxes for a Starter War, I believe. I think that King of Hope is in a very, very strong position right now to rush his endgame. Oh, Starter War? Did he have enough power for that? I'm not sure what's happening right now. I don't think he had enough power for that because he forgot that Envy went back down, so I think he's realizing his mistake and changing where he's playing Wrath as a result. Yeah, okay, he forgot that Envy would no longer be at 4, which meant he didn't have 8 there. He thought he only had to pay 2, but he actually had to pay 4 because with Wrath present, Envy's strength goes back down to 2. So he needed 4 power, he had 3, he realized his mistake, or it was pointed out by a judge, I don't know. But, so now it seems like as a result of that, King of Hope will be changing up his strategy and actually playing Wrath directly to Hohenheim and also throwing down a Mannequin Soldier. Very interesting. And his deck is out of cards, which means if he uses his effect, you can't shuffle into nothing, which will reshuffle his deck. So without Alphonse even coming out, King of Hope has decided to get to his reshuffle, which honestly shouldn't hurt him much. He's got almost all of his allies out here. He really does not fear a reshuffle. We're going to see Wako going back over to Father's Throne to throw back in Sloth, and I did not see what that card was. Lust is going back in as well. He is doing his best to get all of his allies back. He got Pride. Really good grab. Really good. Where is he going to be putting Pride is the question. I imagine we're probably going to see that Promised Day go back. Oh, wait. He had Shapeshifter. That was an illegal move. He was not allowed to reshuffle as he had been. So it looks like they paused the timer to point this out. But they're now going to be trying to fix this mistake. Very easy to forget when you're playing his father when Shapeshifter is in play. Very easy to just slip your mind entirely that like, oh wait, that entire gimmick that I normally play, I suddenly can't. So he's putting Lust back into his hand. He's shuffling his deck. I think he put Pride back in his hand, even though he pulled Pride from his deck. I'm not sure what the judges decided on or how that turned out, but I will just trust that they came to a reasonable, rule-abiding decision. Alphonse at the very bottom of this Fate deck is very unfortunate. We are going to see Armstrong come out over here. Unfortunately, with the Philosopher's Stone set up, he is still in Death by Pride. Promise Day is being played and is playing Sloth out. Okay. I guess Pride must have been in Waco's hand earlier when he, must have been in Waco's hand earlier when he did his discard and then he did the Promise Day, so that's why he ended up back in. And then I'm not sure what happened with the shuffle and all there and the extra draw, but again, I trust that the judges know what they're doing and have it under control, and everything is on the up and up. At the Vanquish action, we could see Wrath being sacrificed here to defeat Hohenheim, even though there's not a token yet at that location. And it does seem like that's what we're going to see. Could have also potentially seen Pride move over to take out Armstrong instead. I'm honestly actually a little surprised that's not what happened. Oh, okay. I think King of Hope has made a decision here that he's just going hard for the win because he has just enough power. Envy with no allies present, with the Philosopher's Stone is 5 strength. He had 5 power. That is just enough to get that 3rd transmutation token. Very good. So it looks like, and clearing out Hohenheim so that he can use Philosopher's Stone and Father's Throne there later, as well as just start stacking up his allies. I think that King of Hope has decided to go in for the kill, as it were, which means Wako is very much on the back foot, as he has been for most of this game, unfortunately. Guaranteed Wrath there is very nice. Wako has made an interesting play of spreading everyone out. Probably in fear of getting faded and more heroes being thrown on his deck. If I were him, that's what I would be thinking. There are the two brothers. I think it can pretty fairly be said that Wako has not had as much luck on the Fate front of the layout of where the Fate here has been. I accidentally clicked my left click, which says, like, hey, you're a spectator. You can't click. How dare you? My apologies. But, It's been a fairly good, I would say, as good as being fated can be, a fairly good layout of Fates, or shuffle rather, of the Fate deck for King of Hope. And it looks like King of Hope actually probably not making any progress this turn, is just looking to get Mustang out and get that reshuffle on Wako, which is unfortunately going to kill Wrath. That really hurts. Wako has had a rough time with his Fate shuffle, his father. Very inopportune fates for him, whereas King of Hope has had it a little bit easier. Not to say that that's what's been the deciding factor. Both players have been playing well, but I definitely think it goes without saying that Wako has had pretty rough timing on his fates being spaced out very painfully for him. Losing Father there is very rough, losing Wrath there is very rough, especially if Wako wants to keep the Fate pressure. He's finally gotten some good Fate pressure. He really needs to... He both needs to be making his own progress, but he also needs to keep this pressure going. Okay, he had the other Shapeshifter. That's going to let him clash with Mustang this turn, which is very good. And he can keep that Fate pressure going by hitting up... This is actually not a bad near-dead Fate. He gets to auto-mail, and he's actually going to put it on Edward. Or Armstrong. Okay. Very interesting. Armstrong actually, with the Philosopher's Stone, I hadn't realized this until now, with the Philosopher's Stone no longer at Armstrong's location, Pride cannot immediately kill. However, Pride plus Gluttony could both be sacrificed to get rid of Armstrong, which might be necessary at this point with, actually he's going to go for Ed first with Envy being at 4 strength with no other allies present. Very interesting. That does leave him with no allies over at Fort Briggs. And we are coming down to the wire on this first round. For those of you who are watching this, who you started, this video is probably going to end up being at least over an hour minimum, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. You were like, I can't believe that these lasted so long. These guys, they're playing hard, they're playing smart, and they're taking full advantage of their chess clock. Just very full advantage of their chess clock right now. Incredibly so. I was so focused on talking about the chess clock, I kind of missed what was happening there, but I think it was on screen, so you should have been able to see it. I think he promised aid into a Mannequin Soldiers, which is everyone's favorite father play at all times. Gain 3 and spin 3 immediately for Pride, it looks like, to get him out with the Philosopher's Stone at Gluttony's location. Also just going to play a Mannequin Soldier for fun. I hadn't realized that he had played Sloth to Xerxes, a very interesting play. Okay. So Wako he's still behind. His Fate deck is ready for a reshuffle, which could hopefully go in his favor, or it could go very against him, depending on how the shuffle goes. But he's still got mostly on lockdown the top Fate over here for King of Hope, but King of Hope is going to make use of his bottom Fate, of course. Umbra Circle is a miss, and then an immediate top deck Mustang. That hurts. That hurts so bad. I actually feel bad. I feel bad for Wako. That is very painful. He loses Shapeshifter. I believe his other one was already discarded, or it's in his deck maybe. I'm not sure. But immediately losing Shapeshifter and Pride after finally getting that setup going is very painful. We're going to see a true alchemy from King of Hope to move Pride over to Armstrong's location, probably setting up to get rid of Armstrong using probably both Gluttony and Pride. It certainly wouldn't be a bad play because it would let him take advantage of Lust to gain some power and try and blitz gaining power for that Fort Briggs. But he does have to worry about Umbra Circle if he does that, because I believe Umbra Circle, there was one pulled, but there's one more Umbra Circle in there. It would be a bit of a risky play, a calculated risk, but a risky play nonetheless. We're going to see Pride potentially being thrown back in, or maybe Shapeshifter even. It's going to be Pride. That makes sense. Both Shapeshifters in the discard. That's very unfortunate. Going to be throwing down a Mannequin Soldier to set up for Mustang with the Philosopher's Stone. They can actually be used to do that. Scar and Winry, we're probably going to be seeing Scar thrown down at that last location. So now Scar stops that last transmutation token from being played. King of Hope is going to need to take Scar out and also get some allies there so he can make perfect use of that. I believe Wako just put some cards back into his deck and reshuffled there. I was too focused on talking about Scar. So we're going to probably see the Armstrong kill here because auto mail is painful. Indeed, words, we are. The Mannequin Soldiers have 1 strength due to the transmutation token, actually. I forgot about that. And then Gluttony is being sacrificed for Pride, and the Philosopher's Stone is being moved over to Scar. So, very interesting that he would prioritize moving the... never mind, it's no longer interesting. He had Greed in his hand. I was going to say, like, interesting that he would prioritize Philosopher's Stone over Pride, but Greed plus Philosopher's Stone equals dead Scar. So it all makes a lot more sense now. If you just trust in the pilots and wait to see what their plays are, Chaos, instead of making your own assumptions, you'd see that. Okay, we're going to see Lust thrown out here against Mustang, as well as a True Alchemy, potentially for an immediate vanquish. Gluttony and Mannequin are enough here. He has to discard Mannequins, but Gluttony, when discarded by any means, including in a vanquish, gets put right back. So he only has to sacrifice his Mannequin Soldiers, and I believe he gained power from Lust. I didn't see if he actually remembered to gain his power from Lust, but the Mannequin Soldier actually should have gained 2, because I think Gluttony, that still counts for Lust's ability, if I'm not mistaken. So I hope he gained that 2 power. He's at 4. He probably gained it. I doubt he was at that much before. Lior being uncovered for King of Hope is very painful for Wako. Alphonse and Armstrong at the same time here. I don't know where, and it looks like King of Hope is checking to see if he spots Pride or Wrath, most likely. I don't know where a lot of Wako's allies, not heroes, allies are right now. Armstrong, as always, very strong, very good at covering Lior and keeping that top Fate out of range. Alphonse, very good at getting rid of everything that Father loves in life. Pretty much. Shout out to this art of Alphonse, by the way. One of my favorite... I'm not even a huge Alphonse fan. I love FMA Brotherhood. Alphonse, I like him. He's a good character. He's not one of my absolute favorites. There are a lot of characters I like more than Alphonse. This is one of his best scenes. Also one of Mustang's best scenes, who is my favorite character. Oh, what a whiff! Oh, what a whiff! Not a single ally, not even a Mannequin Soldier. What an insane Alphonse whiff. That is crazy to see a whiff of that magnitude when I believe it's possible that Pride and or Wrath could be in Wako's hand, but that is a crazy whiff. I'm sure that Wako is very pleased to have that happen right now. Human Energy, looking for some extra power. This is why I never play Human Energy. This is what happens to me every time I try to use Human Energy. I top deck Divinity or Military Strategy, which nets no power. Story of my life. Discarding the Starter War, he only needs 1, so he's probably just getting them all in the getting 2 of the 3 into the discard, I imagine. Using that top Fate, unsurprising by Wako. Wako, I hate to point it out about him, still doesn't have a single transmutation token. It's really not looking good for him. He's had to play defensive this entire game, and he's doing a darn good job of it. Like, credit where credit is due. He is staying in there. Okay, Mustang here is really good. You definitely got to go Mustang over Ling Yao. The question is do you get rid of Pride or Greed? And he's getting rid of Greed. I honestly think I would have made the same choice. At this point, you just really need to guard Scar at Fort Briggs and Fort Briggs in general. With Gluttony and Pride set up at Lior, you're not breaking that top Fate's protection. It's staying there. We are getting a little low on time as well for this first round. Getting a little low on time. We're going to see Mei Chang and Hohenheim come out here. Interesting. This first game has almost gone 40 minutes. We're going to see Hohenheim come out. That makes sense. Stop Philosopher's Stone. Stop Father's Throne. That's very much going to hurt because now that Lior protection that Wako had set up, which was very heavily reliant on the Philosopher's Stone, is going out. However, it looks like Xerxes is going to get blocked. It's very interesting to play Hohenheim straight to Sloth. I find that a little surprising myself, but Shapeshifter is going to let him, with the Philosopher's Stone, now that Greed is gone, get rid of Scar. So that is a very strong tech. Would you call that a tech? Can I use Smash Bros parlance here? Is that allowed? Let me know in the comments if I'm allowed to use Smash Bros parlance. That would be a tech in Smash Bros, right? As you can tell, I don't play competitive Smash Bros. I barely play competitive Annabelle. I just love this game, and I love getting to watch these games happen and commentate over them. So I hope that all of you watching at home, or watching at the park, or watching at your local Denny's, wherever you're watching, I don't know, do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. Wrath was in the discard pile. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, are we not going to see Wrath go back in with Father's Throne? Oh, Hohenheim. Hohenheim is in play, so he cannot use it, unfortunately. That was his hope, but Hohenheim came out. That was probably his plan before Hohenheim was played, and he tunnel visioned. I do that a lot myself. Riza, lowering the strength of allies and also getting rid of Shapeshifter here. Very good. Riza is not one of the stronger heroes in Father's deck, but she can potentially buy some more time. I wonder if they're going to realize that they need to discard Shapeshifter because Riza was played. They'll get there eventually, I believe. Oh, a double equivalent exchange here. Okay, very interesting play. Very interesting. I don't know how he moved there. I think he used Shapeshifter, but Shapeshifter should have been discarded, but I'm not the judge, so I'm not allowed to say that. I'm just the commentator. Oh, a start a war. Waco's done it. In my heart, he's already won. He's already won. Look at him go. Look at him go. The little Wako that could, and getting to use his top Fate. Oh, wait, did something happen? Oh, was he using Philosopher's Stone math and he wasn't able to afford it because of Hohenheim? Unfortunately. Aw, I was so happy for him. I was so excited. Oh, you got to Umbra Circle 6 strength away. He's almost to the point where he can just play the token. I mean, Hohenheim is good, don't get me wrong, but you got to get rid of that 6 power if you want to try and claw this back, Wako. Exactly, yeah. Good call, good call. I believe, yeah, he was going off of the math. He's actually 1 power short. That's very painful. That is very painful. Okay, a lot of discard. A lot of Flask disrespect. I disrespect Flask myself at times. That is going to proc both equivalent exchanges by discarding Flask, I believe. Yep, they are freezing the time for the, whatchamacallits to resolve. Oh, and it looks like while I was focused on Wako, they realized that Shapeshifter needed to be discarded. But I think they neglected to fix Pride, which may come into play. I hope not. Never mind, they immediately caught it. They can hear me. I think one of them is outside my window right now because I don't even have Discord open. I have Discord closed, I believe. Actually, no, I lied. I have Discord open, and I have a notification that I'm going to just very quickly make sure it is... Okay, cool. I was making sure that that was not them messaging me about something like, hey, take note of this. It was not. It was another notification. So I'm sorry about the little thing coming up. It's fine. Equivalent exchange is just being resolved here, so nothing really to worry about. When you discard an item or form from your hand or territory, trigger, choose an item or form from his deck, a discard pile, and put it in his hand. So King of Hope is choosing what he wants in his hand. He gets 2 choices because I believe both of them proc, so he can do a double on item and form if he so chooses. I believe that would... Oh, he's putting Divinity into his hand. Very interesting, because Philosopher's Stone would let him do that for free once he enters Showdown, and he can't play Divinity before then anyways. Very interesting. I wonder what we're going to see here. Probably Central City. Yeah, probably want to move over Pride. Scar is in the discard. That reshuffle is 2 fates away. So probably just wants to get Pride over there, get a little bit of power, and play his last starter war immediately. Riza and Mustang are stacked, so they can very easily... interesting. Shapeshifter being played? Okay. If he has the starter war in his hand, King of Hope could potentially next turn with Pride plus Philosopher's Stone immediately play his starter war and also play Divinity to instantly win, actually, by killing Riza and Hawkeye. Or Riza and Hawkeye? Riza and Mustang. But it seems like Wako is well aware of that, and so he is fading. Actually, does Gate of Truth stop him here? It does stop him from winning because it ignores Divinity's effect if he plays it. But it looks like instead we're going to see Alphonse played just to get another hero out, another body out to hopefully slow down the showdown phase. I gotta say, it's not looking good for Wako. I don't think he's going to be able to claw this one back. But he's putting up the fight of his life. The fight of his life is being put up. Something is happening. Oh, I believe we're back in. Hopefully I remember to edit that out. I should. I wrote down a little timestamp for myself. But here we are. There was a little bit of an emergency where a player had to step away for a moment, but everything seems to be fine and they're back. Hopefully nothing serious, but Alphonse is being resolved, getting rid of a lot of strong allies there, and the game continues. The game continues. And so here we are. Both players getting down. They're almost under 10 minutes for their clock. They've stayed really even on time, which is very impressive. Very impressive to see. What are we gonna get from King of Hope here? He's still very close to closing out his game, but it looks like he's worried about... Oh no, he's actually wanting Father's Throne. I thought I was gonna say he's worried about Wako doing something. He's probably... What he probably wants to do is he probably wants to block Lior even if the Pride Gluttony combo is there, just to give himself more time. Would be my guess. Although with a fate like this, he might go for Automail instead to just really mess up Wako's day. Yep, Automail on Hohenheim. Living Philosopher's Stone. Doesn't really need Automail, but here we are. And we're just going to see a free play of a Mannequin Soldier there on Alphonse to give that Mannequin Soldier, get him ready because he does have +1 strength. And of course, Wako desperately just going to his fate spot nonstop. It's what he has to do at this point to even have a chance of winning. Hohenheim coming out. Really, what King of Hope really needs right now is he just needs to get that last transmutation token in play. If he gets that last transmutation token in play and then plays Divinity, then he can just start snapping these heroes away like he's Thanos, just absolutely deleting them. Playing Hohenheim, I understand covering the top fate. I do wonder about playing Hohenheim there when we could be seeing King of Hope enter Showdown as soon as this turn. Oh, Riza. I forgot Riza is in play and is actually holding him back power-wise. He would need to be at 6 power rather than whatchamacallit. He's going to kill Riza, so there goes Riza. So now he's much more open for the amount of power needed. And are we going to see the starter war here? I don't believe he's taken his play a card action yet. And with Riza gone, he has enough. This is 7. He only has to spend 3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if he has the card in his hand. And he did, of course, he killed Riza using the Pride Gluttony combo, I believe. Oh, he's bringing Riza back. What happened? Oh, Hohenheim is in play, so Gluttony, they don't get the Philosopher's Stone boost, so Gluttony is 0 strength, which means that he would have to discard Pride to use Riza. So he is now rethinking that entire strategy, and instead moving over a Mannequin Soldier and using Lust with 2 Mannequin Soldiers to vanquish Hohenheim, which I believe will give him 2 strength, or 2 power, I mean. That should work, I believe. The Mannequin Soldiers have 1 strength when combined with the transmutation token, and Lust has 2. Riza only affects allies. I accidentally clicked. I'm sorry. It brings up that red text. Yeah, Riza is locational, so that would defeat Hohenheim, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if they are having a discussion about if it would otherwise. They are pausing the timer for this. Hopefully we're not having another player emergency, which we might be. Nope. I think we're good. Oh, just draw Hohenheim into your hand. Very strong. Very good card to hold in your hand as father. I don't know where that card went. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but we're back in it. Back again, once again. There's Hohenheim. He's back. Little bit of a glitch. Again, we don't really know what's happening because we're not in call with them, but things like this can happen. TTS is held together by the same technology that created the PlayStation 3, which is basically like elven magic. No one really knows how it works. King of Hope, his timer is ticking, though. He did get the 2 power from Lust's effect, even though she was discarded in the Vanquish. So he is, I don't know if he has an Umbra Circle coming up, but he is in a very strong position to be able to play his last token. If he can just get that last token and get into Divinity, he can close this game up hardcore. Very easily. I really don't see a world in which Wako comes back from this. He does have a lot of allies out, though. It is possible. He's going for Promise Day, still not a Starter War. Having to pay 2 for it due to Automail being in play, and getting the Mannequin Soldiers really hurts. That is always a pain to get Mannequin Soldiers. Going to be putting back in both Promise Days. With how King of Hope was going, I was thinking we would have this game done a bit sooner. I'm very interested. It is possible that we could start to have a small worry of time potentially running out, which would be less than ideal. But Wako's ability to keep this game alive, despite how dominant of a position that King of Hope has been in for a good chunk of it, is very impressive. I really think, maybe I'm wrong, but I really think that maybe he didn't have Starter War. I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping track of his discard pile, and maybe he's just been desperately trying to get to it. But King of Hope just really needs to start that last war and throw out Divinity and start killing these heroes, especially before, I believe Gate of Truth is in his discard pile, especially before Gate of Truth can come back around. There's the Starter War. We're finally going to see King of Hope's father get into Showdown here, which is very good to see. It means that the end is in sight. King of Hope, he can't afford to be dawdling, though. His chess clock is getting very low, and no matter what, I believe, unless I'm wrong, and I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, I believe no matter how dominant of a position you're in, if you run out of your 30 minutes, you lose. The end. Nothing else matters. But he has entered Showdown. I believe he still has a play, but because of Automail, he has to spend 1 for Divinity. But we're gonna see Divinity here. Now the question is does he immediately use Divinity, or does he hold it for a little bit? If he uses Divinity now, he has a good chance of winning next turn if Wako doesn't put a hero out on him. But Wako most likely will do that. We're gonna see him use the token to kill Edward, actually, which I find surprising. I probably would have done Fort Briggs there. Kill 2 heroes, and then Pride is still there to defend Fort Briggs. Now Central City is open to having it played. But King of Hope does win on his turn now if Wako does nothing. Wako, he has to fate if he wants to keep the game going, but it doesn't look like he will be, potentially even just accepting, like, when Father has Divinity out, there's very little you can do unless you can win in 2 or 3 turns. And unfortunately, Wako has just not had a game where that is possible. There's just no way that Wako is going to be able to pull that off, unfortunately. Are we going to see Lust and Sloth used here to defeat Hohenheim? Indeed, we are. Gain 1. But I do believe this is game because between Divinity's effect killing Mustang and Riza, and then all King of Hope has to do is move to Alphonse's location and also clash with him, because I believe Divinity... Yeah, Divinity does not remove your, Oh, he got a token. That's all. Honestly, that's a personal victory for me and for Wako. I love to see it. I'm so glad he got his token out. But here, we're going to see exactly that. Divinity, remove the token, defeat Riza and Mustang both, and then Alphonse will be clashed with, and he ends his turn with no heroes. So with that, King of Hope will win the first round. A Fate would have revealed Umbra Circle, which does nothing in Ling Yao. Like to see what that last Fate could have possibly been. I'm not sure if Wako realized or if he just decided the game is over. There's nothing I can do. But either way, very fair. Very good game. Wako had a really, really rough Fate setup, I feel like. King of Hope masterfully took advantage of that and played through to get his tokens out and get Divinity in play to win the game at the end. Both players using a good chunk of their clock. We see that King of Hope used 24 minutes, while Wako used 22, not counting when there were pauses for whatever it is I'm thinking of, for schemes being resolved. So very, very good first round. King of Hope takes the first win, which means that Wako will be the starting player for the next game. They are going to ban characters again, I believe, and upon banning characters, we're going to reset the chess clock as well, and we will have round 2 go because it is a best of 3, so King of Hope has to win another game, and Wako is still in it. He could take 2 games back-to-back and claim the victory back from King of Hope. So it is still anyone's game here. Still anyone's game. All right, and here we go. I'm going to do a nice little jump cut for you there, YouTube, as they were getting themselves ready for the second game. I believe Wako is picking his ban right now for the second round. For what villain he does not want to see. Maybe he doesn't want to see Father after what just happened, but he might also... I'm trying to remember who he banned in the first place. That was like an hour ago, and my memory, very not good, like rock, as we all know, if you've been watching my content for very long. I believe he banned... It was either Light or Cell. I want to say he banned Cell, and I believe King of Hope banned Light. So... I'm very excited to see, it seems Wako has chosen his ban, which is once again Cell. Wako doesn't like Bugman. Maybe he just doesn't like Dragon Ball Z. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z myself. It's not one of my, #1 favorites of all time, but I enjoy it. But, this is not for everyone, And then Light is banned again. All right, so we're going to see the exact same bans again. I believe that Wako has decided he does not want to play against Cell, and I believe that King of Hope has decided that he doesn't want to play against Light. Or I think that Wako does play a good bit of Light, so he's just trying to keep Wako from using his ace in the hole, as it were. Now, I believe that for this game, since he won the previous game, King of Hope must choose his villain immediately, and then Wako gets to counterpick him, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, had a little tickle in my throat there. But we will see what we have going on here. I think they were thinking they needed to do the pull of the decks again, which they don't need to, because King of Hope just needs to pick. Who are we going to see here? I think King of Hope is mulling over his options, neither of which are Cell or Light. Orochimaru, my boy, are we going to see Chaos's favorite anime in the first... Oh, baby, we are! Oh, baby, we are. We get to see Orochimaru. I am a huge Naruto fan. For those of you who may not know, Naruto is my personal favorite piece of media in general. And Wako, he wants vengeance. He wants the father vengeance. He's going right back into it. So we're going to see a little bit of father gameplay yet again. Wako wanting to redeem himself for that first round where he just unfortunately could not make it through. But good stuff. Good stuff. I'm very excited to see... Oh, dear. He did not have his territory locked. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this is definitely staying in the video. I can picture Weird Mouse seeing this right now. Hi, Weird Mouse. And being upset that I'm not going to edit that out. But that was hilarious. And I refuse to remove entertainment from my videos. Let's hope that that doesn't happen again. Not really a table flip, but as close as they could get, I guess. I don't know who even caused that. It was probably Wako. I can understand getting hit with Gate of Truth turn 1 as father in the last game can be a little frustrating. It happens to the best of us. And we resolved it very quickly, so it's fine, honestly. I believe that... I don't remember exactly how it works. I should have known this because I'm the media guy for Annabelle, but I believe that King of Hope is guaranteed to get his 1 power and his potential mulligan. Yes, he is. Oh, and they're setting the clock again. They have to set the clock to their colors and whatnot because we brought in a new clock. I don't think the clock has a way to set itself back to 30 minutes. We just spawned an entire new clock. It's like in baseball, right? For those of you who didn't know, I learned this a couple of months ago. In baseball, anytime a ball is touched or hit out into the outfield, they don't use that ball again in Major League Baseball. They replace it with another entire ball, which is insane to me. But, we're going to see King of Hope take his mulligan. He did not like his starting hand as Orochimaru. Probably had a lot of matching hand signs. He actually showed it to us, but I wasn't paying close enough attention because I'm bad at my job. So, you guys can pause the video on YouTube and be like, oh yeah, I see why he did that. We're going to see a turn 1 fate from Wako. Definitely not bitter about what happened in the last game at all. Military strategy going out, discarding some cards that Father finds relatively useless. And he immediately gets the challenge, which is very funny because this is what happened to Wako from King of Hope in the first game. So, Oh, but is he debating playing Lee instead, or does he just really enjoy spinning cards? Oh, he's going to be playing Lee instead. Lee, pretty good hero, requires 2 allies to be defeated. However, that does make him very susceptible to clashing. Orochimaru only has to subtract 1 strength from Lee to be able to get rid of his clash ability, or to be able to clash with him, I mean. The classic Orochimaru play, please power, I crave it, I need power badly, which is going to let military strategy immediately proc for father. Really good to get some early military strategy going for father, because it is very useful in letting him thin his deck. Get rid of cards he doesn't want, cards in his hand already that he wants back in his deck for the promised day or that he just wants to see later. I didn't see that because Wako is very fast, but I think that was Flask that he just put back in. We did not see Flask used at all in the first round, so it would be very interesting to see it be used this time by Wako. I am realizing now, by the way, should have gotten a drink before recording these. Did not occur to me in the moment. Ooh, Kimimaro, anime setup, Lee versus Kimimaro. Kimimaro famously lost that fight. So definitely not the guy you want to see going up against Lee right now. Canonically lost to him. But Kimimaro early for Orochimaru is very good, very strong. Gives him a lot of territory control thanks to his effect. We're going to see Envy played and then Promise Day used to hopefully draw another strong ally. Oh dear. This is very good for Wako, actually. Greed is a strong ally. He's useful. It's a net 0 gain on Promise Day. It does not save him any power because Greed costs 1 to play anyways. But Wako actually pulling out Divinity as well as Human Energy, Equivalent Exchange, and the other card, which I think was another military strategy or whatever it was. I actually would have done the same thing as Wako, getting to immediately ditch all of those cards. That was actually a very strong Promise Day. It might seem misleading, like, oh, was it really that strong? He didn't, oh, are we going to see a killing intent here to clash with Lee? We sure are. So that's because there's an ally at Lee's location that's going to put a -1 on him, and then Orochimaru can immediately clash. It does mean that King of Hope is basically using his turn to get rid of Lee. However, it's upside down Lee. That's so funny. However, that's very good to just get Lee out of there, clear his territory. He's got Kimimaro out. He's got 2 power. Pretty good position for Orochimaru. But yeah, it cannot be stated enough that Promise Day was actually very strong. It let him set his deck a good amount. He has to be wary of Alphons, of course. But very good for Wako. Very good. We're going to see Gluttony come out, and Wako is going to do what King of Hope did to him last time and just go straight for some fates. Are we going to see Naruto thrown out, or are we just going to weaken Kimimaro here? Weakening Kimimaro. Kimimaro is one of the probably worst characters to aim out with Shuriken, because Shuriken will, it'll make Kimimaro weak for a while, but if Kimimaro is ever used in a Vanquish and then his ability plays him again, it will get rid of the subtraction tokens. However, we are still going to see Kimimaro get hit with 2 -2 tokens, just weaken him up, make him very useless for the foreseeable future. It's going to need, we're going to need to see for Kimimaro to effectively be usable again, another ally will have to come out, and Kimimaro will have to help with the Vanquish to be able to trigger his ability. Orochimaru, 5 power. Orochimaru with any amount of power that's 3 or higher is scary in my world, because it means he can do a lot of stuff. He can do a lot of different things. We're going to see 3 power. Oh no, actually a change of plan. We're going to be going over and gaining 2 and fading. Okay, Orochimaru doesn't mind stockpiling some power and utilizing that to, utilizing that for later. To get a fate and gain 2 power. It's not a bad play for him. It's a bit of a weak turn, but not even weak necessarily, but a bit of an inert turn where he doesn't accomplish much. But we get to see the Fate Mustang comes out, immediately removes Greed. Very fair and understandable play. Greed is one of Father's stronger allies, only costing 1 and also being 3 strength. Very, very useful. 3 strength with no... The drawback is that Father loses strength himself, but that normally, unless he's making shapeshifter plays, isn't a big deal. Sasuke, never want to play Sasuke for Orochimaru. We're going to see Sarutobi, the strongest hero in Orochimaru's Fate deck, come out, and he's just going to squat at the Forest of Death for a little while. I had to remind myself of the exact name there. Which is not a good sign for someone whose favorite anime is Naruto. I should remember the Forest of Death off the top of my head. But I've been talking for over an hour straight, and I'm going to need you to give me some leeway. We have Mustang and Lust lined up again. I love to see this because I love it when Annaville just coincides with the anime, and it can happen sometimes. 7 strength, and by strength I mean power. 7 power Orochimaru. My goodness. How is this even possible? It shouldn't be allowed. Jirobo is coming out. Okay. setting himself up with Kimimaro and then a Forbidden Experiments, presumably to gain power because there's nothing to activate. That card always is used to either gain power for cards played or to perform an activate action. And then we're going to see a Killing Intent. All right, so Old Man Sarutobi is now in kill range. Kimimaro still at 1 strength. Jirobo at 3. But interesting. Instead of leaving them there to go for the Vanquish, he's going to use Jirobo's ability to move Jirobo and move Sarutobi with him. Very, very intriguing. I'm very intrigued by that play. How many times can I say the word intriguing in a row before you think he gets, like, not okay? Oh, are we going to see a Shapeshifter insta-kill on Mustang here? The classic 1-2 combo? Maybe not. Either Wako thought better of it, or he realized he didn't have Shapeshifter in his hand. We'll never know. We'll never know. Ooh, gonna gain and spin 3 on Pride instead. The Gluttony Pride set up already, and Mustang off of the top Fate, which means that Pride will not be discarded anytime soon. That is very good for Wako. He's got a very strong start as father here. Envy protecting Central City very well. Pride and Gluttony already set up at the top Fate, no less. And we're actually going to see a true alchemy to immediately vanquish Mustang using Pride and Gluttony there. And gain 1 power from Lust. Gluttony, Lust, and Pride, this is the ideal combination right here. That you want to see all 3 of these at one location together. And immediately, King of Hope is like, no, not in my house. I don't like that. Take away that 1 power with Umber Circle. Mage Hang is actually really strong here. Of all the Fates to get alongside a weak Umber Circle, Mage Hang is probably one of the best options because Wako had such a good Promise Day earlier that let him discard like 4 cards that he really had little to no use for, and he's been discarding Mannequin Soldiers. So we're going to see Mannequin Soldier, Equivalent Exchange, what else? Oh, okay, wait a minute, not Equivalent Exchange, 2 Mannequin Soldiers. Divinity. Divinity is literally a pointless card until he hits Showdown. Human Energy, not that good of a card. Is that 4 or 5? I think that was 4. I can scroll over the thing and look. It's 4. Yeah, he's missing 1. Missing 1? Or is he only doing 4? Has he decided to do, because it's up to 5, right? So he's only shuffling in 4 out of 5. Very interesting. But Mage Hang allows you to shuffle up to 5 cards from the discard pile into the deck. So I've never seen someone only do 4. I guess he really didn't want him to have Equivalent Exchange available, which is fair. A Curse Seal on Kimimaro. The other option, other than looking for Kimimaro's effect. Instead, he's just going to slowly buff Kimimaro through the use of play a card actions. Very fair. Very fair. Oh, it seems that we paused for some reason. Has something happened? Oh, we're back in. We're back in. Hopefully I remember. I'm going to have to... I've got a timestamp Word doc chat. I'm gonna edit these, I promise. I'm going to edit out these dead points. We had another little bit of a player emergency come up there, and they had to step away. Thankfully, everything seems to be okay. So, nothing to worry about there. At least okay enough that they can continue playing a children's card game, which, you know, if this were Yu-Gi-Oh!, that would be the most important thing in the world, as we all know. Substitution Jutsu being played off of the Cursed Seal. Look at those hand signs. I just want to take a moment to gush about our good team member, Swallet. One of the best custom creators out there. His Orochimaru is amazing. It's still my favorite Annabelle custom. Swallet, if you actually have the time in your busy life to watch these, I want you to know, I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone on the team. A lot of great creators, but Swallet made Orochimaru, and he's my favorite, so he gets a special shout-out. Also, his card backs are just chef's kiss. Manda being played, also giving 1 power back to Kimimaro. Manda protecting that top Fate. Very understandable. Fate? Words? I can speak, I promise. But protecting that top Fate, very understandable. Protecting your top Fate is very important in competitive Villainous in general, but especially Annabelle. Recovery Mission and Tsunade. Okay. Tsunade is very strong. Orochimaru hates having to deal with Tsunade. So we are definitely going to see her come out and just make Otagakuri a truly awful location. A location that no one would want to summer vacation at. Also making all of Orochimaru's effects and schemes increase by 1 power. That is very painful. Orochimaru hates that. He hates spending power. He hates things being expensive. Also, Philosopher's Stone came out over here, in case you didn't notice. Very, very, very strong Lior. Ain't no one touching Waco's Lior anytime soon. It just ain't happening. It just will not be going down. What are we going to see from King of Hope here? A curse mark on Tsunade. Want to immediately bring her down. She does not make items cost more. Jiraiya makes items and allies cost more. Which, there you go, an ally. Can he play 1 more card to get Kimimaro +1 strength and Tsunade -1? No, he couldn't. He had to discard there. He couldn't afford body mods because Tsunade made it cost 2, which is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate to see. It's, you know, King of Hope, he's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's got some dangerous heroes to deal with. Some early, strong heroes coming out. I say early. Waco's faded him like 8 times. And by 8 times, I mean 4 times, because I can count. What are we going to see here? Potentially a true alchemy to move Philosopher's Stone and clash with Mei Chang, because Philosopher's Stone will... Oh, no, start a war. Okay, yeah, just going straight up for it. Which costs 0, I believe, because Pride is worth 5, Lust is worth 3, Gluttony is worth 2. That equals 10 with Philosopher's Stone. Quick maths. Look at me go, chat. Look at me go. Maybe I'm the real winner all along. What are we going to see here? A Fate? Understandable, understandable. There's Edward and Ling Yao, two bros. Just broing it up. We're going to see Edward played, and it looks like King of Hope is actually going to be drawing an auto mail from the discard. Nope, he was checking to see if they were both in the discard, and now instead, this is a play that I normally do. Auto mail, not a bad card, but Father has a good amount of killing power, so normally you don't want to draw auto mail. You want to play it with Edward, and if you are forced to play it, then you play it. But usually you want to get the auto mails, use Edward to get auto mails out of the Fate deck, so you can draw more powerful heroes and really mess Father up. That is normally the goal, in my experience. Which, you know, people better at the game than me may disagree. I want to make it very clear, I believe I mentioned this during the first round, I'm not the best player around. I at least have an idea of what I'm doing when I play this game. Enough of an idea for me to be able to commentate these videos. So, someone much better at the game, such as Butter or Falk, may come behind me and watch these videos and leave comments and be like, actually what Chaos said here is nonsense, don't do that. If they do, take their advice over mine. They're better at the game than me. What do we got here? We're going to be moving Lust over to Mei Chang, potentially? Decisions? We do need to, I say we, Wako. Wako does need to start getting some moving underway. He's got to get over to Edward and kill Edward, ideally. And all Wrath, he's going to spend 4 on Wrath and just say goodbye to Edward. Never mind all that moving nonsense I was talking about. I don't know what I'm saying. But that is not going to proc Substitution, because Substitution Jutsu is a hero with 3 or less, which Edward was 4. Getting rid of Edward and Automail out of there, it was very expensive, but he's moved over Pride. He's making some progress on setting up his future wars to be started. Just some good stuff going on for Wako. He's got a much stronger Father game going this time than he did last, for sure. Orochimaru really loves Tanzaku Quarters and Forest of Death. He just loves those 2 locations. They're his favorite vacation homes. Why go to his old home of Konoha or go to his new home of Odagakuri when he can just enjoy jumping between the 2? Sealed Coffin is out. The big need for Orochimaru to really get his game underway. Very good for him to see there. And he's going to spend 1 on Forbidden Experiments to activate the Sealed Coffin and immediately play Sasuke. Interesting that he's put the Sealed Coffin at Forest of Death, and he's actually going to willingly cover his own top fate. Interesting, a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. I know we saw him discard the card Summon Rashomon earlier, so he's not setting up for Summon Rashomon just yet, but he could be thinking long-term. He is close to a reshuffle. We could see Kabuto come out and let him get it back effectively. Meanwhile, Wako, going to another Fate location, Promise Daying himself right into Father's Throne immediately. Going to be looking to hit Orochimaru with a Fate here now that he's gotten Sasuke out. Really want to make sure that Sasuke can't get a good, or not Sasuke, Orochimaru, aka King of Hope, can't get a good foothold going. Ooh, Gaara and Sakura. Now, one play that I hadn't considered actually, that might be what King of Hope, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm speaking gibberish. King of Hope might have been planning for actually, is by putting Sasuke at the top Fate. Now, Wako has a decision to make. Does he move heroes away from it so that he doesn't get Sealed Coffin benefits, but as a result, open up the top Fate for Wako? Or does he not do that and instead keep it covered? So we're going to see Gaara moving Sarutobi. Unfortunately, Sarutobi does not have a strength of 5 or more, so he does not block. Normally, Sarutobi would protect Sasuke from losing strength, but because Sarutobi already has a -1 on him, he does not do that. He does not accomplish anything. Okay, going to the Leaf Village. We're going to see a normal Vanquish with Manda here. Is that what we're about to see? It seems like we're going to see a normal Vanquish with Manda to defeat Sarutobi, just get him out of there. Sasuke still blocking that top Fate, though. Tsunade also still causing a lot of issues, making effects and schemes more expensive, unfortunately. But not too expensive for the 4 Violet Barrier, though. That will give him a good source of starting to lower Sasuke's strength and refunding its cost even thanks to Sealed Coffin. Wako, Tsunade giving Tsunade giving King of Hope quite a bit of trouble, but he's got a decent setup here. He's got some allies defending. He's got 4 Violet Barrier. He's got Sasuke lined up with Sealed Coffin. Father, very good position here, but only 1 token thus far. Lot of strong fates still to come. Hohenheim, I believe, has not been seen yet. Scar, Alphonse, if I'm not mistaken. Alphonse might have already gone. I can't remember. But lot of potential stuff that could still make some issue here for Wako. He's I would say he's in a good position for sure. Definitely better than he was in the first round. But he's not in any sort of guarantee at the moment. We're gonna see a shapeshifter. He's gonna whip out a gun with a face and eyes and just absolutely murder a small child here, as anime tends to do at times. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm not sure what Wako is debating if this is what he wants to do here. I don't think he's allowed to move Philosopher's Stone there. I'm not sure how he's doing that. I think he thought that Shapeshifter can move items, but it can only move allies, to my knowledge. Why did he move Philosopher's Stone? I don't think he should have been allowed to do that. Maybe I'm missing something. I could be missing something. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Nope. I was not wrong. They only just now realized it. There we go. He's going to move Gluttony instead. That makes a lot more sense, because it's the legal move. It's very easy to get confused on those things. Let he who has not accidentally tried to move an item with Shapeshifter cast the first stone. I won't be casting the first stone. We're going to see a gain 1, spin 1, just to put a poison kunai on Kitamaro. An interesting turn. Probably setting himself up to go to his bottom fate next turn and do a vanquish with Kitamaro. Very understandable. Probably wants to get Gar out of there so he gets that top play and also get a -1 on Sasuke. What do we have over here? A lot of power that is immediately being thrown into the gutter with Envy to put the token there. Okay, yes, very good, Wako, very good. So he still has Pride and, oh yeah, he's misusing, he forgot that he can't shuffle back in Star War because he has Shapeshifter. But getting that there with Envy is very, very strong because now he has Gluttony and Pride set up, Philosopher's Stone ready to potentially be moved in the future. Just a really, really strong setup right now. And we are going to see the Kitamaro Vanquish on Gaara, which is going to let him put a -1 on Sasuke, I assume. Or maybe even Tsunade if he's really looking to get Tsunade out of there soon. But if he puts it on Sasuke, he gets a gain of 1 power. If he remembers to make use of the kunai, that is. And it looks like he is. So there's going to be a -1 on Sasuke, which is going to be a gain 1 from a Sealed Coffin, which is very nice. And he's going to Fate Wako. There's Riza and Scar. Riza, not the strongest hero, so seeing her with Scar is not too bad. Going to make Fort Briggs a much worse location. Get rid of that Shapeshifter. Make sure that Wako doesn't try and accidentally move an item with it again. King of Hope, just helping his brother out. Trying to be helpful. I feel that. What have we got here? What have we got here? Wako wanting that 3 strength desperately. Are we going to see a Promise Day? I thought we might see a True Alchemy here. Ooh, immediately into Wrath. That's very good. Very good for Wako. Just setting himself up to be able to kill Scar immediately. He could even let Scar hodl there for a little bit as he focuses on using Pride and Gluttony to try and move them over there to keep Wrath alive, potentially, as a better defensive measure. I wonder how much King of Hope is feeling the burn right now on having Sasuke at Forest of Death as opposed to Konoha or even Odagakuri. Normally, in my experience, I see Sasuke get played to Konoha. Playing him to the top fate of all locations is very surprising to me because Orochimaru loves, as I mentioned earlier, he loves Tanzaku and Forest of Death. Those are his 2 favorite places to go. He adores them. Setting up the Sword of Kusanagi words for later, and getting Sakon and Ukon out to potentially deal with Tsunade. Unfortunately, Tsunade still has just a little too much strength. That Curse Seal has not gone off on her yet, so Sakon and Ukon will not be able to handle her alone. Wako doesn't like what he's seeing, going right back to his fate location, and also making use of Father's... Sorry, a tickle in my throat. Making use of Father's Throne to get a Starter War back in there, after he accidentally lost it to Shapeshifter earlier. Again, Divinity, just a worthless card until you hit Showdown, at which point it becomes the best card in the game. Wako is debating pretty hard. Discarding True Alchemy. I hate to see that. I personally... Oh, he's discarding it and using the Vanquish, but not shuffling it back in. I hate to see that. I love True Alchemy. That's one of my favorite cards in the game. No joke. I love that. Gonna see a Recovery Mission or Kakashi here? Kakashi really covering up Otagakuri. Kind of a weird play because I imagine he's probably just going to use Sakon and Ukon to immediately kill Kakashi while Kakashi cannot cause him to lose power. That's probably what I would do because you also get a bottom fate in there. I know he was setting up to deal with Tsunade. However, Kakashi is also a major threat that needs to be dealt with, so I am excited to see how that goes. Really? Auto Mail? I probably would have gone with Winry here and set the Fate deck for multi-fates, personally, because remember, you can multi-fate in 1v1 in Anime Villainous. You just reveal one card, which means cards like Winry or Mai from Merrick's deck can really set you up for a lot of strong multi-fates back-to-back. But it looks like instead he's going to put the Automail, probably trying to force Wako to not fate him on his turn, and instead have to go over to Central City to utilize the Vanquish. And we are going to see Kakashi defeated by Sakon and Ukon here, as expected. Honestly, I think a good play, a good call. He doesn't want Kakashi to cost him power later as much as getting rid of Tsunade is paramount here. And Wako actually is just not going to care about Auto Mail and go right over to Fort Briggs to hit another Fate. Father, one of the most effective faders in the game alongside, I believe, Cell, and I want to say Light. Light is the other one who's really good at fading. I had this explained to me once of who are the best faders. Father is definitely one of them. So he is keeping incredible pressure up on Orochimaru here, who admittedly does not love to be faded repeatedly. No character loves to be faded repeatedly, but Orochimaru is definitely up there. And we're going to see Wako get rid of one Starter War, but keep the other two, and also only keep himself at one Promise Day, keep his deck nice and low so he can draw into those cards he needs. He only needs 2 Starter Wars here to get what he needs. And there's the other Sannin, so all 3 have arrived, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. This is a very bad position for Orochimaru. This is a very bad position. Tsunade and Jiraiya you never want to be out at all. You really, really don't want to see them both at the same time. That's very, very painful, very hard for Orochimaru to deal with, as now, effectively, all of his cards cost +1 allies, items, effects, and schemes. So, Orochimaru does not have any unique card types, so that is just going to be all of, other than forms, other than White Snake. White Snake is the only one that is not affected by that. I was thinking to myself, like, there's one card that doesn't fall into this category. What is it? It's forms. But very, very painful for Orochimaru. It's looking pretty good for Father, I think. I don't want to call it early, but I think we might be seeing a third game. We might see this go to a third game, potentially. We're going to see Promise Day pull out the Flask, which has been wildly disrespected, has not been used until this point. I disrespect it myself. I think Flask is probably the item I give the least credence to in Father's deck. It can definitely be very useful, but I'm much more of a Father's Throne guy. I love Father's Throne, mostly because Mustang makes me cry. Tears of both, man, what a great character, and also Tears of, please don't discard my pride, he's very sick. But we now see all 3 of Father's items stacked in, and we're going to see Decomposing and Gaara on the reshuffle. Really shows you just how strong Father can do at the Fate game, the fact that he's already gotten Orochimaru to a reshuffle. And we're going to see Gaara coming out and some maneuvers being done. Not really a great place to move them to. You move them to Sasuke, then that gives more chance for Summon Rashomon when it comes around on this reshuffle soon. Leave him at Gaara. He can hit him with Gaara. Put the heroes, put the allies over at Jiraiya and Tsunade. They can be used to vanquish. So it looks like he's actually probably going to play Gaara and just leave him, which honestly I think is a totally fair play. Probably what I myself would do, to be honest. And that is the end of Wako's turn. So we're going to see Wako, or we're going to see King of Hope, rather, going over to the Leaf Village, otherwise known as Konoha. Village hidden in the leaves, land of many names. He's going to use the 4 Violet Barriers effect there is how he did that. Pay 1 power to have Sasuke lose 1. Sealed Coffin then gives him a refund of once per turn. He gets that extra power. We're going to see Kimimaro moved. Very interesting. I was wondering if he would move Jirobo, actually, to try and make use of Jirobo's movement and also get Jirobo over to Jiraiya and Tsunade. But he's actually going to move Kimimaro, even though Kimimaro is only at 2 strength at the moment. Wako finally deciding to hold up on the fading. He wants to gain power, probably because Auto Mail is costing him a lot. And is he going to have enough for this? 4, 5, 8. That should have cost him 3 due to Auto Mail. But he is going to get his third war started, and he shuffled in 2 starter wars earlier, so he's not afraid of discarding this one because he just wants to draw into his last one. Putting him at a little bit of risk of Alphonse, but I think Alphonse is in the discard pile right now, if I remember right. I'm going to be honest with you, I've forgotten because my memory like rock, as we've been over. King of Hope is debating a lot of things right now. He's in a rough spot. This has not been a good showing for Orochimaru, unfortunately. Not a good showing as in King of Hope has played bad. Let me clarify. King of Hope doing his best. He's doing well, probably playing better than I could ever hope to play. But he's had a rough time, much like Wako did in the first game with his Fate deck, having Jiraiya and Tsunade, or not Jiraiya, Sarutobi and Tsunade, and even Gaara to an extent, come out at the times that they did, and now being held in a bit of a chokehold by Jiraiya and Tsunade's cost-boosting effects. So it looks like he's actually going to choose to just move over here and Fate to try and slow down Wako from getting, where have we seen this before? 1 token to go, another character desperately trying their best to stop that last token from coming out. So I'm not sure what Wako is planning. I feel like he can blitz the win here pretty well. He might Fate out of just worry of not wanting King of Hope to be able to get momentum going, but I personally would do what he's doing right now. I would move there, gain my 2. Oh, don't move Pride yet. Kill Mei Chang first with Pride's effect, my friend. Oh, he's going to do a double move and cost 1 and then vanquish Hohenheim instead. Okay. Honestly, I didn't realize that he had True Alchemy in his hand. Very fair play. Very fair play. And now he's well set up for utilizing Fort Briggs. Orochimaru moving over here, doing his best to recoup from the trouble he's had. Moving Kimimaro again. I guess he really wants to use Kimimaro to defeat Gaara specifically, rather than try and deal with Jiraiya or Tsunade at the moment. We're going to see a pay of 1 for 4 Violet Barrier, and he is still going to have Sasuke lose 1, still move that objective forward a little bit, rather than lower Gaara in hopes of being able to defeat Kimimaro. Oh, and he's going to give Kimimaro the Poison Kunai, which will work out just as well. I'm not sure if he paid the full amount of power he needed to for that, but that is the judge's job, not mine. I also might have not seen, but that Kunai should have cost 2 with Jiraiya in play, but I don't know if that was caught or not. Ooh, are we going to see Kimimaro discarded here? Is it possible that he doesn't have the necessary hand signs? If you have 4 cards in your hand, you always have the necessary hand signs to replay Kimimaro, but with 3 in your hand, you might not. Okay, not going to be replaying Kimimaro. That hurts. But Sasuke, halfway on strength, so King of Hope is not out of this game. It's looking quite in Wako's favor, but King of Hope is not out of this game by any means. By any means at all. He could definitely still pull this back. He just needs a couple of good turns. He needs Wako to slow down and have trouble for a bit. But I think Wako is now, he's decided, and I think this is the right call by Wako, he's decided to go all in on the win. Rather than continue to Fate Orochimaru and slow him down further, which would also be a fair play by all means, he's instead just going all in. He's got 8 power added here. He has 3 power available. He can very easily play his last whatchamacallit on his turn, as well as vanquish Mei Chang in the same turn. He could actually win on his turn if he has Starter War in his hand, I've just realized. And it looks like King of Hope will not be fading. So if Starter War, which I believe Wako set his deck up for earlier, is in his hands, I believe that's game. Play the token, vanquish Mei Chang with Greed, and enter Showdown by playing the last token, if he has it. That's going to trigger the substitution jutsus, but I don't think it matters. It looks like they're going to go through resolving it anyway, but it's game. There's no point in resolving the substitution, so I don't think they're going to bother. I think that Wako is just going to play his Start of War and win. There's no point in going through the substitution jutsus. It doesn't allow King of Hope to win. It doesn't It doesn't change anything. Wako wins this turn, and there's nothing to be done about it. Very, very good game by Wako. Kept up some very excellent Fate pressure. A bit of a quicker game than the first round. Kept up some very good Fate pressure. Orochimaru had some rough times with the timing of his Fates, having Sarutobi and Tsunade come out almost back-to-back while he didn't have any allies set up yet to really deal with that. As well as Jiraiya coming in the late game to just really, really put the final nail in the coffin. But even then, even with that rough time going, he still had Sasuke at -4. Only 4 -1 tokens away to go. 4 Violet Barrier makes that a very consistent thing to keep up with. He had a good chance. I feel like, and again, I'm not the best of the game. I feel like it might have been a bit of a wrong play to put Sasuke at the Forest of Death. I understand then other heroes like Jiraiya and Tsunade would have gone there to block it, but that might have kept Tanzaku Quarters open, which would have been a huge help to be able to play a card while also getting 3. We saw 2 times that King of Hope went here just to gain power and maybe discard a card or 2, and that just didn't really work out for him. So I feel like that might have been a small misstep on his part, but still, he played a very good game regardless, and it was a pleasure to see. So now, I believe, we are going to go to a final game where King of Hope will now be the starting player because he lost that game, which means he will get to ban first. He will get to go first. Wako, after winning that game, I believe will have to choose his villain first, so King of Hope will have the opportunity to counterpick. I'm very interested to see if Wako is just going to, once again, go for Father and just make it a 3-Father game, and how King of Hope will respond to that potentially. But I believe it looks like we're going to get right into it, maybe, that they're going to go ahead and pick their bans here. It looks like King of Hope is picking his. He is the starting player again since he lost that second round. So he will be choosing. We'll see if we once again have Light and Cell just banned. It's entirely possible. I think I'm not sure. I think King of Hope on the server, at least, he has Orochimaru set as his main, I believe, last I checked. So it looks like Wako just really doesn't want to play Cell. We are going to see Light banned. Wako on the server has Light set as his main, so I imagine Wako is a big fan of Light, and King of Hope is probably just like, I don't want to let him play his main against me because that's scary, of course. So we're going to see Light getting banned yet again. Wako, will he be picking Cell again just to ensure that he does not have to go up against Cell at the very end, or will he be choosing someone else? It seems like he's taking some time to think. Maybe he's considering. He might still just end up going with Cell, but he's just considering his options of maybe he doesn't want to see King of Hope pull back out Father or anything. Oh, let's see. What have we got? Crocodile. Interesting. We're going to see no Crocodile here. Very interesting. I'm really interested in what made Wako make that decision. But let's see here who they're going to pick. I believe Wako has to choose first because he won the previous game. Light is still unavailable, as is Croc. Cell is available for the first time. I was actually curious if Wako specifically just did not ban Cell because he wanted to play Cell. But it does not appear to be the case because he is considering who to pick. He is going Father. We're going to see Father 3 games in a row. Wako is just maining Father for his first round in the tournament, which is very fair. Father, strong competitor, very capable of fate pressure, which is very important. And we're going to see another Father mirror. I can't believe they've done this to me. They're driving me insane. We've seen 3 games, 5 Fathers, 1 Orochimaru. I can't believe they've done this to me. It looks like the game is starting, and King of Hope is right back on his fading. Ooh, that is essentially a dead fate. It takes away that 1 starting power from Wako, but even then, a double Umbra Circle is practically irrelevant. And it also means that for a good long while, Wako does not have to worry about stockpiling power. Umbra Circle exists to stop Father from just being able to willy-nilly without a worry just hold as much power as he could possibly want. And now there are only 2 copies, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Sloth defending Central City over Lior. This is a play that I myself do at times. I tend to put Sloth at Lior nowadays, actually, myself, because of this right here. But the next most likely place I throw Sloth down is Central City, personally. So that's also fair to guard. Okay, putting Alphonse over at Fort Briggs instead of the top fate because he's already at the top fate and also just keeps him from the potential setup later of Pride and Gluttony and whatnot. Not a great Alphonse. Hitting Wrath is very nice, but only hitting Wrath. There were some Mannequin Soldiers he could have discarded there, but that would help Father more than hurt him. But losing Wrath is painful, but only losing Wrath could have been worse. And here we're going to see the other Sloth come out, and he's going to be defending Lior. So different philosophies of where to have Sloth defend. Other than the Pride and Gluttony combo, I feel like Sloth is the most defensive sort of, you put him where you want him to be defending ally in the deck. Oh, and we're going to see Sloth, Greed, and Envy all out. Oh, so I see, keeping Sloth at Central City because he has Envy ready to defend Lior. And then as well, he's got Greed out. So he's just got a lot of strength accumulated already, King of Hope does, despite losing Wrath, unfortunately. So he is well setting himself up for some fast tokens. And Wako is thinking the same thing, and he's worried about it. And as a result, he is now going straight to the Fate. Ooh, using Human Energy and getting Pride for the 2 power, and putting Human Energy back in. Very, very interesting. It's very rare, in my experience, that you see Human Energy ever work. I hate that card because it never works for me, but it works for other people when I'm watching them play. I'm just, I'm not bitter or anything. I'm just like, can I play Human Energy and get Pride like just once? I like, come on. Anyways, we're gonna see Hohenheim. I'm sorry for going on my rant. I shouldn't let my personal feelings get in the way of my my commentary here. Gonna cover the top Fate, even though Envy is right there. It will cost him Envy to perform that Vanquish on Hohenheim, but he will be able to instantly kill Hohenheim with Envy, should King of Hope choose to do so. But, the battle of these Father Mirrors, look at them go. Are we going to see a Fate plus a Shapeshifter here, I assume? Scar and Mustang at the same time does suck. That does suck. One of the 4-strength heroes, which there are 3 of, it's Scar, Hohenheim, and Edward, I believe. Those 4-strength heroes, you really want to make use of them. However, Mustang, despite only being 3-strength, his ability it's so hard to pass up when it can actually hit something. And honestly, I would have made the same play. Go ahead and discard Sloth, cover that top Fate, mess up any amount of time that you can have Father's top Fate blocked, and especially with it out being defended, you want to take advantage of that. Because one of Father's greatest strengths is his Fate pressure, and that he can keep that top Fate safe. So you definitely want to do that when you can. And see, immediately Greed is going to come out and probably actually Promised Day, not a true alchemy, but now that top Fate is no longer safe. It is it can be removed anytime. Getting the Promised Day into Mannequin Soldiers, it hurts. It always hurts. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, but that is the way it goes. This is looking like a pretty even game. King of Hope has more heroes to deal with, but also he has a very strong lineup of allies compared to Wako. Wako, however, has more power on hand immediately. We're going to see a gain 3, spin 3. Is Pride and or Father coming out? We're going to see Pride. All right, that is a free token right there. Like, that is an overkill token, but it looks like he didn't have it. He didn't have the Starter War, unfortunately, to make use of there to get that started. What are we going to see here from Wako? What does Wako got going on? The classic, I'll say it in a second, I promise. Oh, True Alchemy. I'm always intrigued. I thought he was going to shapeshift. I'm always intrigued to see people discard True Alchemy instead of shuffle it back in. I always shuffle. There are 2 copies of it. I always shuffle them both back in because I feel like they're so useful. But maybe I'm the one playing wrong. No. It's the competitors who are wrong. I'm always right. Yep, stacking that top Fate. It's the best way to ensure that you can beat Father is to find a way. And again, I'm not the most competitive person, so everything I'm saying take with a grain of salt. In my opinion, one of the #1 things you need to do to make sure you can beat Father is make sure you lock down that top Fate of his as much as you can, because he loves that location. He loves going there. He loves keeping up Fate pressure, so you just really want to ensure that can't happen. We're going to see Envy used to get rid of Hohenheim here. Very fair and understandable. Armstrong is going to be a little more annoying to deal with, but definitely want to get rid of that ASAP. We could potentially, the best way to deal with Armstrong is to move to his location when there are no allies there and play Shapeshifter. So we might see that. We are going to see a free Starter War, easily free with the amount of allies that are stacked up here. And he is going to shuffle it back in. He doesn't have any in his discard pile yet. He wants to keep all of his Starter Wars available in case he ends up losing any through Shapeshifter. Also moving Greed over to start taking care of Armstrong, so he will not be going for the Shapeshifter play. That is so much power, which Wako can afford to hoard because his Umbra Circles were double discarded out the gate. Envy is a pretty good Promised Day draw, especially when your territory is as barren as this one currently is. Definitely wants to start building up ASAP before King of Hope starts flooding his territory with heroes again, potentially. That's what all of that fading and covering the Lior top Fate has been for, presumably, is to let Wako have some time so that he can he can set up a little bit more to protect his own top fate. Does he have Starter War? With Envy at 4, Envy words, I need to make sure I have a glass of water for these future games, as you can tell. With Envy at 4, it would cost 6 of that 7 power. That's a hefty price to pay, especially when you know no Umbra circles are coming up. However, you have to get those tokens out, and you have to take your opportunities where you can. Honestly, Wako, I would probably do the same thing in his position here. In my humble opinion, other than maybe niche or more fringe cases, if you have the opportunity to play a token as Father, I almost always take it. I think it's almost always worth taking, because as soon as you get that 4th token out, Divinity, you're set. Like, you cannot be stopped once Divinity is out. So you just, obviously it seems basic, like, oh yeah, move your objective forward, do it if you can. But for Father especially, once he hits that 4th token, it's practically game over. It's so hard to stop him from winning within like 2 turns once Divinity is played. So for him more than any other, you really want to take every advantage you can. Gluttony and Greed, not a bad hit with Alphonse. Not an amazing hit with Alphonse, especially when there are so few allies in play. But a pretty good hit with Alphonse to get rid of both of those allies that Father definitely wants. So Wako is going to be looking to Father Throne those back in at some point, I'm sure. He can immediately get rid of Alphonse. We're going to see, I was talking about this Alphonse over here. We're going to see this Alphonse gotten rid of with the Shapeshifter play. Just get that out of there. And we're going to see Shapeshifter move Pride over to hopefully deal with Armstrong in the near future. Wako can sack Envy to immediately get rid of Alphonse, but he's actually going to go for some more Fate pressure. Gain a power, look at discarding, maybe see about playing a potential card. We're going to see what he does here in a second. It could be anything. He could do anything. He's going to play military strategy. That was not what I expected, but it's what he's going to do. And then we're going to see Mage Hang and Mustang. This is obviously you play Mustang and get rid of Pride. Just that's very, very unfortunate for King of Hope. Very unfortunate. That's also going to get rid of a Shapeshifter. I'm sure that they will notice that in a second, or the judge will tell them that Shapeshifter needs to be discarded. But that should be gone now with Mustang. Yep, there you go. So what have we got? What is his top fate is locked down, King of Hope, which is very unfortunate because he doesn't have it as locked down. Oh, we're gonna see military strategy proc for Wako here. Wako's top fate not looking too healthy right now, but nowhere near as locked down as King of Hope's is. And in a battle of Father Mirrors, which is something I've never seen before in my life, in a battle of Father Mirrors, until today, of course, because I saw one earlier. I'm not lying to you, chat, I promise. But in a battle of fathers, which one of them can keep the other one's top fate locked down really could be the big difference maker. What are we going to see? We're going to see Lust played here. Once again, Lust and Mustang at the same location. Their voice actors in dub are married, so they just can't stay away from each other. Ooh, Envy, Lust, Greed, the triple threat play. Interesting. So that's 7 total. He only needs 3 power to play a token there, which is very strong. Wako is going to gain some power himself. I believe we haven't seen Umbra Circles out of King of Hope's deck yet. Maybe we saw one, I don't recall. But very good on him for getting that power spent immediately before it could be lost to him. We're going to see Wako go over here, gain and spin 3 to get Wrath out, and actually not putting Wrath to take out Alphonse, which is totally fair. He has many other ways to take out Alphonse. He doesn't have to use Wrath for that. Instead, setting up Wrath at Xerxes. Potentially, he's planning to skip over Lior for now, and instead focus on getting his tokens played at Xerxes and potentially Fort Briggs first. Entirely possible. He is going to be playing Shapeshifter, so he could move to Alphonse's location next turn and go for that Vanquish. And by Vanquish, I mean Clash, which is not a Vanquish at all. So you can tell that I really should have gotten myself a glass of water for this. I will, to give myself some more credence to any slip of the tongues that I may be having. I am recording this at 15 past midnight. So these guys, they wanted to get their game in fast, and I love their enthusiasm. We released the bracket like the other day, and they were like, let's play. I can do late at night. Can you? And I was like, you know what? These guys, they're hype. They're in. They want to play. I'm gonna be ready too. I'm gonna record this late at night, even though the commentary might suffer a little bit, but I'm doing my best. We are gonna see immediately gaining 2 to spin 3 to put down that token. Okay. Top Fate really locked down. He does have allies lined up to do some vanquishes, and it looks like he's probably going to be doing one here. He's actually moving Envy over, so Envy is at 4 strength over at Xerxes. And are we going to see Greed used for Mustang? We are indeed, which is going to net him 1 power due to Lust. Putting Greed back in just makes sense. Greed is one of the easiest vanquish then replay allies that Father has at his disposal. 3 strength for one cost is very strong, and Greed's drawback, while definitely a negative of making Father weaker, basically making it nearly impossible, if not impossible, nearly impossible, there's a niche scenario, Mei Chang with Philosopher's Stone and Shapeshifter, that Father can clash, but Father doesn't like clashing all that much, in my experience, until he gets to Divinity, or for some quick Shapeshifter clashes, so really not a huge loss to use Greed pretty religiously in that effect. There's an Umbra Circle. That might have been the second one. I don't remember. It might be the first one. But of course, you're going to play Scar here. Block Fort Briggs from being able to be transmuted with a token. And put him away from Envy for the moment. But Envy can get over there lickety-split. And with no other allies, Envy can just immediately take down Scar, potentially. Something happened over here? Oh, he was moving Envy with Shapeshifter. KingofHope going to get power. I wonder, it looks like the two players might be making a small decision right now to give up a little bit of Father's Fate pressure to instead focus on objective. It seems like that is KingofHope's, at least. Very unfortunate to get a Mannequin Soldier here. However, not the worst thing ever, because with the Transmutation token already there and Armstrong being at 5 strength due to the allies, having a Mannequin Soldier there with that extra 1 strength can be a big difference maker. We're going to see a military strategy played as well. Very interesting. But it looks like KingofHope, he might be not worrying too much about his fate pressure and instead focusing on gaining power and getting the rest of his tokens out so that he can hopefully just blitz to a victory, because he is ahead in tokens right now. He has a decent setup for getting more tokens played, whereas Wako he's got a much better position for keeping his fates out, or keeping his fate pressure up, but not as good a position for playing out tokens really fast. He does, however, have 6 power, which he's going to spend right now to prove me wrong, to play a token with Envy here to Alphonse's location. So now they're tied up on tokens. It's anyone's game. It's anyone's game, ladies and gentlemen. They're both at a very similar board state right now, I would say. Both at a very similar board state. I think that in terms of getting tokens out, which is, of course, the most important thing, KingofHope is probably just a smidge ahead because he's got Envy here ready to go. He's at 3 power. He might have an Umbra Circle coming up, which he has to be wary of. But Wako has Wrath in place. Envy is out and can be moved around a bit. However, Wako, if he doesn't use Envy to beat Alphonse here, he's not in the best position for... He could use Shapeshifter to get rid of Alphonse if he doesn't get hit with the Fate here, but KingofHope is... I think he's just a little bit better well-poised to get this next token out. And if both players are letting some of their fate pressure slide away to instead focus hard on just getting those tokens out to try and eke out a victory before the other one can, then it could really go either way. But I think KingofHope is in a slightly better position to do that. A very minor position better, but better nonetheless. We are going to see him go for a Fate. He probably wants to protect Alphonse. I imagine he wants to force Wako's hand into... Ooh, and the Philosopher's Stone. That's a 5-strength Envy. Very good. He probably wants to force Wako's hand. Oh, he didn't get... This is actually fine, actually. He didn't get a hero, so he can't get rid of Shapeshifter to protect Alphonse, but he can play Gate of Truth to protect Alphonse. Gate of Truth is really going to hurt Wako here. Wako has no power at the moment, which means it's borderline, I believe, actually... It's borderline impossible for him to get rid of that in 1 turn. Shapeshifter is still in play, but he can't use Shapeshifter's ability, and he can't clash with Alphonse, so he might still sack Envy here. But outside of a crazy human energy play, there's no way that Wako can get rid of Gate of Truth this turn. He has to hold it for at least 1 turn, if not multiple. He does have human energy, and human energy, bad card. Don't at me. Human energy, bad card. I hate that card. I'm amazed that Wako isn't discarding. Yeah, discard both of those. Get him out of it. Yeah, Wako. Yeah, golf claps. Golf claps for Wako. Get those out of there. I need to move over here to see what the fate is. There's the Umbra Circle, so both Umbra Circles are gone, but KingofHope is coming up on a reshuffle. Edward will also facilitate that reshuffle, I believe, because there should be another automail in here, I believe. He's going to check the discard first, of course, to see if they're both in there, and they are not. So that is going to get... Oh, no, they were both in there, I assume. Or he left one in there because there's so many heroes out. Leaving an automail play actually wouldn't be that bad here with these heroes out as they are. But Edward in the automail is really going to put a damper on King of Hope's ability to speedrun, as I believe he was kind of aiming for. But he's still going to go here and just focus on gaining power, and he's going to spin 2 due to automail to throw out Gluttony. Okay, so Gluttony plus Sloth can get rid of Edward here, and he's actually going to True Alchemy to do it immediately. A very fair play. Very fair play indeed. He's going to shuffle Sloth back in. Gluttony keeps himself alive. Yeah, shuffle back in that True Alchemy. Now we're talking favorite card. Human Energy. Human Energy, the Virgin Human Energy versus the Chad True Alchemy. That's, you know, that's what I'm saying. If you've made it this far in the video, which is coming up on 2 hours, leave in the comments if you agree with me or not. Human Energy bad. I forgot the name of the other card. True Alchemy good. Did I mention that it's past midnight and I don't have any water? Which is completely my own fault. I now know for every other game, no matter what time of day it is, I'm getting myself a glass of water before we start. That was stupid by me. Now, Wako, is he going to get rid of Gate of Truth here? He will essentially be sacking his turn to Gate of Truth to move to Xerxes, gain 3, spend 4. He is moving to Xerxes. Is he going to live with Gate of Truth for a little while, or is he going to immediately get rid of it? He might save this power and get rid of Gate of Truth next turn to keep Shapeshifter safe, because Shapeshifter cannot be discarded while Gate of Truth is in play. Other than, like, Divinity being played, I suppose. But the hero being played discard thing of Shapeshifter cannot proc because Gate of Truth negates the ability. So he might hold it, actually, so he can go to Lior, keep Shapeshifter safe, and then sack his 4 strength, or his 4 power there, and then shoot Alphonse in his metal face, potentially. Wako is thinking hard. He has a lot of time on his chess timer. King of Hope definitely has a time advantage. Oh, he's going to live with Gate of Truth and just play out Pride to really speed run getting his tokens. Okay, both players have kind of decided, like, we are here for tokens. We are playing these tokens and we are winning. We're not going to have the long, drawn-out Fate War that we had in the first game, which Wako lost that one, so I can understand him being like, I don't want to do that again. I want to win. Automail and Mei Chang, not a good fate here, really. A really weak fate. If he plays Automail, that will probably just be the decision maker for Wako to sack Envy to Automail to get rid of that. To just immediately do away with that. Mei Chang is not a horrible fate by any means. Let him get some garbage out of the discard pile and put it back in. Father has his fate deck very low, so it could really get messed up here. But Mei Chang isn't that strong at the same times, you know. Really, the Automail, okay. I feel like I personally would have played Mei Chang there. But maybe King of Hope is, first of all, better than me. Second of all, maybe he is also just very determined that he wants to not let Wako fade on his turn and try to force Wako to go to that Vanquish to get rid of that Automail immediately. Wako is still also living with Gate of Truth, which is, it's not fun. It's not fun. Like, look at that face. He is not having a fun time. He's not liking it. The players have, they've been playing this Father game pretty quick compared to the first one, I feel like. They are, they've got a lot of time available. He is going to move there and immediately Vanquish using Envy, as I probably would have done the same. And then what are we going to see here? Start a War only costs 2 thanks to Pride and Wrath, and then I think he gets to move Pride as well. Yeah. Or he could have moved Wrath, but moving Pride makes more sense because Wrath can move himself to heroes when they're played. Much better to just leave Wrath where he is, unless if there's someone better to move, that is. We're gonna see King of Hope gain 3. Oh, did he get to 5 there? Is he getting his 3rd token? He's getting his 3rd token. All right, so they both have their 3rd token out. King of Hope has to deal with Scar before he can place his last one. And Wako doesn't have to deal with Gate of Truth. He can win even with Gate of Truth in play. It's just going to be a little bit harder. We're also going to see Military Strategy come out. Of course, always a good card to throw out when you have a free play a card action available to you. Very good, very good. Wako, honestly, gaining power. He's immediately letting Military Strategy go out, which is fine. But Wako is in full-on speedrun mode here. He doesn't have heroes to deal with at the moment. Gate of Truth is a bit of an issue for him, but if he can just get Wrath over or another strong ally and then get start a war in his hand, if it isn't already, then he can end this game. He can just win and move on. So it is a very dangerous spot for King of Hope right now. It looks like despite losing the first round, Wako might bring it back, and with another Father Mirror, no less. But it is still anyone's game. They both have 3 tokens. I do think that Wako is in a bit more of a dominant position right now, especially he has Lust out now. He can play his last token for free by moving to Central City on his turn. That card might be Starter War, but I doubt it. I think he needs to dig for Starter War. His Starter Wars might all be discarded without his villain ability, actually, something I hadn't considered. I don't know if he has another one in his deck or not. I assume he does, but I don't know for certain. There is no way to tell. It could go either way. But if Wako does have Starter War in his hand right now, if they are not all in his discard or these last 2 cards, Wako wins on his turn because you can win with Gate of Truth in play. Father not being able to clash and his villain ability being ignored mean nothing to him in terms of his objective. Okay, King of Hope either looked at the discard pile and knows they're all in there, or he's just hoping it isn't. He does he needs to get rid of Scar here to really have a chance. He's got to get in there and get that last token. It's his only hope, and he's going to try and Promise Day. He got Greed, didn't save any power in terms of playing, but Greed, 3 strength, very strong. Very strong. So that helps a lot towards his getting his token. But does Wako win? The fact that he didn't move immediately means he must not, so he's going for Fate pressure. He needs to discard cards to get Starter War. If he's not just discarding his entire hand, then I can only assume that one of the last 2 is in there, and he just has to discard for it. Yeah, he is just discarding to get it. Otherwise, he would have played Father's Throne and put it in. Auto mail on Armstrong to make things more expensive over Gate of Truth is honestly a very fair call here. Don't call the game until it's over, until all the chips are down, but it is looking very good for Wako right now, especially because he has Wrath for defense to move to whatever hero is played. We are going to see Edward come out and Riza. Riza could potentially slow down with the ally lessening, but I do believe playing Edward here is the right call, most assuredly. Wrath is, of course, going to move to Edward's location to be able to instantly kill him. If Wako has Starter War in his hand, he wins. If he knows how to do it. He just has to move to where Wrath is, vanquish Edward, gain 2, and then spend 4 thanks to Pride and Lust to play the last war. So this could be it. This could be the end of the first Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2023 game. If Wako has what he needs, he is moving there to immediately defeat Edward. But does he have the Starter War? He's counting. I think he's got it. And he spins 4. He spins 5 to flex. That is game. He enters Showdown and immediately wins. Gate of Truth does not stop Showdown from occurring. So that is going to be the game. Wako has done it despite losing in the first round through the power of a comeback Father Mirror. He has defeated King of Hope in just truly amazing series of games. Roughly 2 hours of amazing Annaville competitive action. Truly, truly great stuff. It looked like 2 Umbra Circles were next, which could have potentially bought King of Hope another turn or 2, which is unfortunate. But that is the way the cookie crumbles. Or he just pulled that out of the discard. I wasn't paying close enough attention. But, yeah, that will be it. Wako will be moving on to the next round, and King of Hope, unfortunately, has been eliminated from the tournament. This is a single elimination tournament. There's no loser bracket or any such. So, regardless, truly amazing games from both players. We could not have asked for a better first matchup for Tournament Arc. Truly, truly great. So, yeah, just great stuff. So before I close this out here, let's take a quick look at the Anime Villainous Tournament Arc bracket. King of Hope, unfortunately, has lost, and Wako victoriously moves on to round 2 of the tournament. He will be facing either Kid J's or Coritex, depending on who comes out the victor in that matchup, which we will be seeing, hopefully, very soon on the channel. So once again, thank you all so much for watching this Anime Villainous tournament arc video. I hope you enjoyed this great competitive gameplay that we got to see. Thank you, King of Hope and Wako, for the great matches. Truly just a fun time. I enjoyed watching and commentating, and I look forward to more games and tournament arc to come. For those of you watching, be sure to check out links in the description if you want to be able to better keep up with Anime Villainous, both tournament arc and the casual side of the game. And I hope to see you next time for the next tournament arc match. Until then, farewell.